Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you guys are having a great Thursday. So we got a lot to talk about today. The markets were up for the most part. S&P, Dow, and NASDAQ were both up. BTC and Ethereum were down, however. Miners, on the other hand, were mixed today. So we'll get into all that. We'll also take a look at a lot of stories that we have today. Soluna is dumping their Maria site. We also have Mawson increasing their facility by 20 megawatts, so that's great there. Then we got a bunch of updates for February production. We have Digihost, BTC is down, but hash rate is up. Cleanspark, BTC is down, hash rate is flat. And Marathon, BTC is down a little bit, but hash rate has a huge increase. So we'll get into all that. And always we'll have the chapters down below so you guys can skip to the ones that you want to see. And we'll get through this hopefully relatively quickly. And as always, this is not financial advice for entertainment only. Please do your own research. I'm investing in finding coins and companies for full disclosure. And let's get into the markets here really quick, see what's going on there. Okay, so the S&P was up today just barely 0.76% to 3,981. Dow Jones was up 1.05% to 33,003. And NASDAQ was up 0.89% to 12,044. Now, Bitcoin was also down today, and it is trading right now at 23,453. We did, we were down 0.69% on the day for Bitcoin. It went down to 23,468 is where we closed at. You can see here on this chart and this kind of, hopefully this trend line here will hold right now. I mean, right now it's holding, it seems like. So we are kind of bouncing off of it a little bit here. We did that the day before today, and then we're kind of bouncing off of it a little bit today. We'll see where it goes. If it drops below it, then the trend line becomes null and void. But right now, Bitcoin is just trading sideways right now, no real direction as far as which way it wants to go. It is battling with our resistance line of 23,824 right now. We saw it happen today. We saw it happen before, the day before as well. It's just not going anywhere right now. If we look at the 4-hour chart here, we can see that the RSI is also pretty much flat, going sideways here. And however, price has been pretty flat as well. I mean, if you take out the highs and the lows here, you can see that it's been pretty flat across the board as well. So no real direction as far as which way it wants to go. 1-hour chart as well, we can see that the RSI is at 50 right now, going just a few hours back. We did get a little pump here and it's been flat. It's not doing really anything from here. RSI has been going down. I mean, we kind of peaked up here and the RSI has been going down, but so has the price. So really don't know which way it wants to go right now. We'll see if this trend line does hold, and if it does hold, then we might end up where we get really close to our resistance line of 23,800. And if that happens, we might break above it, which would be a good sign. And then we'll have to battle with our 200 weekly moving average, which is now currently at 25,200 something. Okay. So that's Bitcoin. Ethereum also was down today. It was down approximately 1.04% to a close of 1,647. And we got the same kind of signs here with Ethereum as well. RSI is pretty much just trading sideways here along with the price action on it on the 4-hour and on the 1-hour chart. So there's not much indication as far as which way it wants to go. Tomorrow we do have a big options expiry, I believe, in Bitcoin. So we'll see where that takes us. So hopefully we'll get to the upside going forward into the weekend and into next week, but we'll see. Okay, now the miners. Any was down today 8.26% to 37 cents. Argo was up 1.2% to $1.69. Bit Digital was down today 0.79% to $1.26. Bitfarms was down 2.51% to 92 cents. Cypher was up 8.9% to $1.59. Cleanspark was down 1.55% to $2.54. Cores was up nicely today. Again, it was up 18.35% to 37 cents. Digihost was up 1.54% to $1.32. DMG was up 0.15% to 22 cents. Greenidge was down 0.96% to 49 cents. Hive was flat today, $2.81. Hut 8 was down 0.61% to $1.63. Iris Energy was down again today, down 8.76% to $2.50. It's been coming down pretty hard here recently from its high of $5.29. So it's down about, well, more than 50% from that high that it reached. Marathon was down 3.84% to $6.26. Mawson was down 4.2% to $2.28. Riot was up 0.65% to $6.18. And Soluna was down 7.2% to 29 cents. And TeraWolf was up 8.82% to 66 cents. So like I said, it was pretty much a mixed day on the miners today. Let's take a look at the network hash rate really quick. And we can see here on the 7-day average, it has spiked up above 300 million. It's at 305 million right now. And on the 1-day average, let's see where we are at. That has come down a little bit here to 308 million from its new all-time high of 363 million. So trend line is still going up in the increased direction. Okay, so let's get into our first story here, which is going to be on, I believe it's going to be on Soluna. So Soluna sharpens focus on Project Dorothy, energization and grid connection imminent. So that's good news there, but they are basically dumping a site here. So Soluna announced today that it has exited its Project Maria facility in Kentucky. Project Maria was a 20 megawatt first generation project where designs and economics were tested and refined, ultimately leading to the engineering and economics deployed at Project Sophie in Kentucky, which will continue operation in Project Dorothy in Texas. So I guess that's good news there, but it does take out quite a bit of hash rate there. So I wonder if that's going to be transferred over someplace else. The exit from the Project Maria site concentrates the company's focus on the development and energization of Project Dorothy in Texas, where grid connection and energization are imminent. So that's good there. Michael Toporek, CEO of Soluna Holdings, stated, "We believe our exit from Project Maria allows us to concentrate our capital and personnel on continued operations at Project Sophie and the energization of Project Dorothy, which will maximize profits and return on assets." So that is good news there. We'll see. They do have about 500, I believe they had around 534 petahash at the end of October. This was the last update we got from them for operational updates, and it was on October, so 4 months out. Don't know if that increased at all or not. We just don't have any information on that. It's unfortunate they are not providing their monthly operation updates. That way we could have kind of tracked them going forward. Okay, but that's kind of what we're looking at. So 534 petahash would have to be moved someplace else, possibly to one of the other Sophia site or the other one. Okay. So that's it for Soluna. Let's get into Mawson here really quick. Mawson Infrastructure Group Inc. expands the Midland facility to 120 megawatts. So Mawson today announced that it has signed a lease amendment for its facility in Midland, Pennsylvania, which will allow for an additional 20 megawatts of power capacity. Upon completion of the development works, the site will have 120 megawatts of capacity. The site is expected to be 100% online in early Q2 2023. So that's a couple months away, maybe 2 months away, 2 to 3, I would say. And see here, what else do they have to add? Mawson is deploying an additional 10 modular data centers and 5,880 ASIC miners needed to fulfill the capacity, so that's great. All the company's mining units are fully funded and currently being installed at the Midland, Pennsylvania facility, so that's also good there. Mawson is currently developing another 120 megawatt facility in Sharon, Pennsylvania, which is expected to come online incrementally through 2023 and 2024. Combined, the two sites will have 240 megawatts available once fully deployed, which can house up to 70,560 miners, which can produce up to 7.8 exahash, or approximately 31 bitcoins per day, or 287 million in revenue per year. That's with the caveat, obviously, that it depends on network hash rate, where that goes up, Bitcoin price, stuff like that. Okay. And then Mawson also expects to have 132 megawatts online in early Q2 2023, representing enough power to power for up to 38,808 ASIC miners operating at approximately 4.2 exahash per second. This capacity expansion could potentially generate up to approximately 16.9 BTC per day, or approximately 154 million in revenue per year, again, depending where Bitcoin price goes and the network hash rate. Network hash rate goes up, they're going to be mining less, okay? So good news there. They are growing. That's good to see after everything that has happened last year for them. This is absolutely a good sign here, okay? So let's get into some of our updates for production, and this one is from Digihost. So Digihost provides February 2023 production update. This is going to be a pretty quick one. There wasn't a lot in here to go over. So monthly production updates are as follows. Mined 58.18 BTC during the shortened month of February, resulting in total holdings of 12.59 BTC at the end of February. So they have sold out quite a bit. They're not the greatest at providing what they hodl, but when we do get it, it's nice to get it, and they have 12.59 BTC. The company held cash, BTC, and cash deposits of approximately 2.4 million as of February 28th. So they still have some cash, so that's good. And then in order to prevent equity dilution and to avoid taking on third-party debt, the company made the decision to use its cash and digital asset inventory to fully fund the February 8th, 2023 strategic acquisition of its 60 megawatt power plant. So that's good there too. And then consistent with management's ongoing commitment to avoid equity dilution for its shareholders, the company sold a portion of its Bitcoin production during February to fully fund its energy costs. And love seeing that. We obviously don't want shareholder dilution when they can fund it with their current operations, right? So that's good to see there. So let's take a look at the numbers that I do have for them, and this was Digihost. So here's Digihost right now. Current shares outstanding is about 27.8 million shares. Stock price is $1.32. Market cap is 36.8 million right now. Current hash rate is about 750 petahash. Future hash rate right now that we have at is about 1.1 exahash. They are 65.81% installed right now, and 51% or close to 52% growth left. BTC hodl right now, as stated, was 12.59. That's valued at about 297,000. That equates to about 0.81 hodl to market cap ratio, and each share has about a penny of hodl position in it right now. Now, as far as our BTC production is concerned, you can see here that's been pretty, I would say, pretty flat, if not declining a little bit here. That is to be expected if they're not growing. network hash rate is increasing with Bitcoin, that's going to lead to lower returns. But we also had a month of February was pretty short. It was 28 days. Other months are 30 days, 31 days. So you could take out, 2 days or 3 days to it. That might have even gotten them close to being even higher than January. That was the case. Okay, Bitcoin efficiency here has been coming down here as well. They hit a peak here, it looks like, in June, 120. And ever since then, it was kind of a roller coaster up and down, down and up, down. So they were at 77 Bitcoins per exahash right now at the end of February. And they generated approximately 1.35 million in revenue from it. They did sell some Bitcoin. I don't know exactly how much they sold, but I've been trying to keep track of it here. As you can see here, we had them down for 111 Bitcoins being hodled in January and December. Those numbers might be off. They might have sold some in there as well. But finally, we got some information on how much they have. So 12.59. So it looks like in the last couple months, they've sold about 156 Bitcoin, possibly valued around 3.6, give or take a little bit based on where Bitcoin was in those months at that time. Okay. They are mining about 2.36 Bitcoin per day based on the number of days that they were mining in February divided by the amount of Bitcoins mined. So that's kind of what the average I'm getting here is basically when they were operating, what was their average production for that time frame. And that has been pretty consistent here. You can see 2.37, 2.39, 2.36. So it's pretty close, but it has been coming down here a little bit here recently. Now, as far as miners being installed, we only installed these 375, 102 terahash miners to get them to the 750 roughly petahash that they reported. And that was a nice increase there. So that's good. And that got us to the 1.35 million in revenue for them. So otherwise, they were running at 24.65 days, so had a little bit of curtailment, but not too much. Next is going to be institutions. Institutions did increase to 19. Oh, I didn't do that one yet. I have to do that one still for them, institutions. So I'll get this updated and I'll provide it to my Patreon members. I forgot to do it on Digihost. I did it on the other ones, but I didn't do it on this one. So I will get that updated and my Patreons will get that updated as well. And if we look at their numbers here right now, it looks like they might be at about 4.3 million in revenue for the quarter. That is dependent on where Bitcoin goes and the network hash rate. That could decrease or increase depending where either one of those goes. But that gives us to approximately the current quarter of 4.3 million. Last 3 quarters, we have them at 14.7 with the fourth quarter of 2022 being an estimate right now. We don't know what that is going to be like until they actually report that. And we're looking at about total of 19 million in revenue total for prior quarters, current quarter and the last 3 quarters. Now, if we take the 50% net income from gross revenue and use a PE of 10, we're looking at $3.42. And if we get 75% net income from gross revenue, we're looking at $5.12 at that time. Given that they are pretty small and their growth is pretty limited right now, if they grow further than that, we could see a PE going up along with Bitcoin goes up. Well, then they could also get higher PE ratios as well. But that's kind of where I'm looking at them right now. And based on that, they are undervalued like a lot of the miners are currently. So with that being said, it was overall a good month for them. It wasn't bad. They kept up pretty much with the production in the prior month. They increased their hash rate, so that's also good to see. That's really what we want to see from the miners is slowly. If they're growing, I'd rather have them grow slowly than not at all. So that's good there. And hopefully they can continue to grow. So that is it. Otherwise, not a bad month for them. Okay, so that's it for Digihost. Let's get into the next one here, which is going to be on. So Cleanspark releases February 2023 Bitcoin mining update. We have a lot of information here to go over. So Cleanspark this month, they improved their efficiency by over 3% compared to December, so that's good. That progress coupled with average wholesale power rates as low as 2 cents per kilowatt hour, that's really good there. Has allowed us to increase our profit margins even as production compressed month over month due to February being a shorter month. And we also had the network hash rate increase, so that's a given. Months like February are practice runs for halving, and we intend to continue to test and deploy all hardware and software at our disposal in our bid to be the best prepared miner when halving happens next year. So they are preparing for that. I think that's a great news there that they are mindful of that happening. Okay, let's see here. Here are the updates that we do have. Bitcoin mined in February was 576, so that is lower than in January. And it is still lower even if you include the network hash rate increasing and the shorter month. So it's lower even more than that. Now, total BTC holdings as of February was 100, so they have sold quite a bit. Total BTC converted for operations and growth in February was 778. And then currently deployed fleet of about 66,900 latest generation Bitcoin miners with a hash rate of 6.6 exahash. So that pretty much stayed the same as it was. Okay, so let's take a look at the numbers I do have for them. And then we'll get into the last one, which I believe is Marathon. So currently shares outstanding is about 77.9, almost 78 million shares. Market cap is 198 million right now. And stock price is $2.54. Current hash rate is 6.6 exahash. Future hash rate right now, we have them at about 9.4 with the purchase that they did recently of, what was it, 24,000 miners. I can't remember exactly how many miners it was, but that's where it gets them right now. So they are 69% installed, 43% hash rate growth left in them. They do hodl. They said 100, didn't they? I didn't update that. Let's see here. Yep, 100. So they are hodling right now 100, so that's valued at 2.3 million, and that is about 1.19% hodl to market cap, and each share has about 3 cents in it right now, so that's not too much. Now, looking at the production here, BTC production, you can see here that they had a low in December of 464 where they did a lot of curtailment. January was a great month for them, 697 Bitcoin mined, and then in February they went down to 576, which is a pretty steep drop here. Not sure why. But we'll take a look at the numbers that I do have for them. Also, their efficiency has been coming down here. We had a nice increase in January as well. And in February, we got another drop here to 87.3 Bitcoin per exahash. I'd like to see that stay above, but we'll see. Okay. So with 576 Bitcoins mined, they generated approximately 13.4 million in revenue on that. That equates to about 20 Bitcoins per day. That has been coming down here a little bit from January and December. And that's based on, like I said, based on the number of days that they mined divided by the Bitcoins here. And let me see here. It looks like they sold 777 Bitcoins at about 18 million. I think they reported selling 778. I got 777 based on that. So we're really close to that. And that's not too bad. We know that they didn't install anything for miners in February because the hash rate stayed the same, but we do have them mining at about 27.58 days in the month instead of the 28. So a little bit of curtailment, not too bad, about 98%, 99% uptime. So that's great to see as well. Like I said, I just can't figure out why they mined so much less. It is given that the network hash rate has increased, what was it, 10, 20% in the month of February. And we had a shorter month, but that still, I don't think that would have still equated to that. It is what it is. Okay. As far as institutions are concerned, we now have 162 institutions, so that went down a little bit from 166, but shares increased a lot here. So it went from 17.5 million to 25.4 million. So that's great to see that institutions are buying in. We also had percentage owned increased nicely to 32.67 from 23.56. So that's also great there. We still have, as far as analyst ratings, we still have a 1 strong buy rating, 3 buy ratings, 0 holds, 0 underperforms, 0 sells. And the price target is still $12 for the high, $7.50 for the average. So that went down a little bit, but the low is still at $5 there. Okay, so based on that, and let's look at the numbers that we do have for them. So we do have the the current quarter, we're looking at about a 42 million. The Bitcoin stays where it's at, hash rate stays where it's at, and everything, and they mine for the full month of March. And then we also have the 84 million in revenue for the last 3 quarters, which are actual numbers from them. That gives us a combined 127 million. If we use the 50% net income from gross revenue with a P of 20, I'm looking at $16.30 for them. This is where they should be. They are way undervalued. Their market cap is way under their assets. They have more assets valued than their current market cap, which is just ridiculous. And if we use 75% net income from gross revenue, we're looking at $24.45. I think the institutions are seeing the same thing that I'm seeing, that these guys are just way undervalued. I think they're being a little bit punished because of the compensation. I do agree it is a little high, but I'm hoping that with the growth that they are going to be having this year, possibly getting to 16 exahash by the end of the year, that should offshoot any of those negative things as far as compensation is concerned with stock options. Okay, that's kind of what my thinking is on this, and I will be buying more of them as they are pretty low right now, and they are below my average price per share right now. So I will be dollar cost averaging possibly tomorrow, and I'll let you guys know if that does happen or not. Okay, so that's it for Cleanspark. They have huge growth potential. They did say that their facility that they're adding on additionally is going to be a couple months away from being fully energized, so that'll be good. That'll help them get the miners that they did buy added to it, and that will help their hash rate increase quite nicely along with their production going forward. And they are going to be working on also their immersion cooling, that they are trying to figure out what the best ratio is of whether you increase hash rate, decrease hash rate, increase wattage, or decrease wattage, whatever that combination is, they're still working on that. Hopefully we'll get an update on that as well. Okay, so that is it for Cleanspark. Let's get into the next one. And the last one is going to be on Marathon. So Marathon, we got quite a bit here to go over. So Marathon Digital Holdings announces Bitcoin production and mining operation updates for February. And here's what we got from them. So management commentary, we successfully energized nearly 19,000 Bitcoin miners across multiple facilities in February, with over 8,000 of these units consisting of S19 XPs. Those are the 140 terahash miners, the most official ones right now. So that's great to see. They also increased we increased our hash rate to 9.5 exahash, a 30% increase from the prior month. That is a huge increase for them. They were, I believe, at 7 or something like that. But we'll look at it, how much they increased. We also increased our average Bitcoin produced per day by 10% compared to January, producing 683 Bitcoins in February. That is a little bit less, but it's still really good compared to where they should be. So I think they should be even more next month, but we'll get into the numbers here slowly. And they also opted to sell 650 Bitcoin this month to offset operating expenses and for general corporate purposes. We have not seen that here happen with them in this this wallet. So I'm wondering if they're using another wallet now because of that, because we were tracking, we could see how much they were selling. So that could be the case, but we just don't know. Okay. And let's see, I think there was something else maybe down here. There wasn't. Okay, so we went through that. We can see here the BTC produced was 683. Average BTC produced per day was 224.4, and they are at 9.5 exahash right now. And installed hash rate is 14. They just got to get it energized. So that should be coming here shortly with them as well. But nonetheless, it is good to see that they have increased quite nicely this past month for them. So let's take a look at the numbers we do have for them, and we'll call it a day. All right, where's Marathon? Marathon is right there. Okay. So Marathon has 116 million shares outstanding. Stock price is at $6.26. Market cap is 731 million right now. The current hash rate is about 8 point. That's not right. Why is that showing up there? 8.4. Oh, I thought I did this already. February. I did not. Did not copy that one over. That one. That one. Okay. So now we are at 9.5. Okay. So current hash rate 9.5 exahash, future hash rate 23 exahash. They are 41% operational right now with a hash rate growth left of 143%. And they hodl 11,392 Bitcoin. That's valued at roughly 269 million right now. HODL to market cap is 36.83%, and each share has about $2.31 of HODL position in it right now. Bitcoin production, you can see here they had a nice jump here in January to 687. February was 683, and the only reason I can think of that is they did a lot of curtailment, or the miners that they did get installed got installed very, very late in the month. We don't know that, so we'll see. I'm guessing March production update should be a lot better production. It should be up closer to like maybe 800 some if things work out the way they should. Now, BTC per exahash efficiency wise, they were at 94 in January, 71.81. They installed a lot, so that's a given. That's going to always decrease your efficiencies when that does happen. Okay. And looking at their production here, 683 Bitcoins, that gave them about 15.9 million in revenue. We've had very nice growth here with them recently here, so that's good to see as well. And I have been mining at about 29 Bitcoins per day on average. If we just use the 23 days that they were basically mining, that I was able to use to figure out the revenue for them. Okay. What else do we have here? They said they sold 650 Bitcoins, I believe, right? Where did they say it? 650 Bitcoin. I'm getting here 709, unless I'm off someplace. They reported 11,392 total Bitcoins, if I'm not mistaken here. Where was it? Where did I see it? It was somewhere along here. Where did it go? Let me see. 11,392. Yep. So Marathon holds a total of 11,392 Bitcoins, and this is what I have, 11,392. We've been tracking them regularly here, so I'm surprised that I'm getting 709, and they came up with 650. So that's a pretty big difference between those two. I'm not sure if I made a mistake someplace or if they made a mistake someplace. Okay. So that's basically, if that was 709, that would be 16 million, but they said 650, so that was less. And we'll see if we can get clarification on that eventually. Okay, so we got that. Here's what we got installed so far in February. They installed a lot. So they installed, let's see here, 10,200 of these 100 terahash miners. Also installed here about 8,500 of these XPs, and that's it here. That's how we were able to get them up to the 9.5 exahash, it looks like. And revenue increased by about 14.41% from January, so that's good there, like seeing that. And then when we look at the institutions here, 314 institutions, so that did increase from 301 from January. And then we had 52.8 million shares compared to 45, so that's a nice increase as well. Percentage owned by institutions is now 45%. That's a huge number of institutions owning them, and that's a big increase from 38% the prior month. We still have this slight change in the ratings, analyst ratings. So we have one buy rating, one strong buy rating, 4 buy ratings, 3 hold ratings. We had 4 hold ratings before. Price targets stayed pretty much the same here at $20 for the high. 12 to 33 is an increase from the prior month. And the low is still $4 for them. Okay, so when we look at all the numbers combined, we're looking at the current quarter possibly being about 51 million. If Bitcoin stays where it's at, their hash rate stays where it's at, so they mine for the actual 31 days. And that would be 51 million. If they mine less, then we're going to have less revenue. And the last 3 quarters, which are the fourth quarter of December, that's an estimate. And then the prior 2 quarters are actual numbers. We're looking at a total of 117 million here with 50% net income from gross revenue. We're looking at with a PE of 20 of $10.03 to PE of with 75% net income to gross revenue. We're looking at $15.04 with a PE of 20 on both of these. So they are at $6.26. I do think that they are undervalued right now. And as analysts are saying that they're supposed to be at $20, well, analysts are looking at them with a PE of a much higher than that. I mean, they're looking at a PE possibly of being, wow, almost 40. Yeah, a PE of 40. That's huge. We have seen that before with them. It's been even higher, especially when we go into the bull runs with them. I like to be conservative on my numbers. 20 is kind of like where I like to be for companies that are growing. Some of the other ones that are smaller, less growth, I'll go down to like 15, 10, somewhere around there. But this is kind of the way I like to look at them and value them that way. But right now, surprisingly, Marathon Digital is undervalued in my opinion. A lot of times when I've covered them in the past where things were going really good, they have been overvalued based on my numbers, but they are undervalued right now. So not a endorsement to buy, but I think it is a pretty good spot to possibly buy in if you're going to be buying in for Marathon. Okay, so that is it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. A lot of information. Marathon, great job getting miners installed and energized. Hopefully this can continue on going forward. They did say that they wanted, I believe, by the end of Q2 of this year to get everything installed. We'll see if that actually happens. But nonetheless, they are on a great track right now to get to that or get pretty close to it by the end of the first half of the year. Okay, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, the spreadsheet is available to my Patreon members. Thank you to everyone there for the support. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out, like I said before. And we'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Tomorrow's video is going to be, I got two more. I got to talk about, what do I have to talk about? I think it was DMG that provided quarterly results along with Riot. We have to go over those numbers as well. And then we'll see who else reports for their February production updates tomorrow. So that's it. Thank you so much. I hope you guys have a great night. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.